Should you bulk or should you cut first if you are an endomorph? My answer is, if you want to increase your fat oxidation, if you want to burn body fat to your fullest extent, this means that insulin secretion needs to first be limited. Hey, what's up YouTube? Christine with Gauge Girl Training here, and today I'm going to do part 2 of the should you bulk or should you cut first video. And this video is especially for the endomorph somatotype. So let's get started. Alright guys, so if you are an endomorph and you want to gain lean muscle while minimizing your fat gains, it's truly important to understand the metabolic reasons that endomorphs gain fat so easily. And I'm going to break it down for you guys. So let's start on the cellular level. In order to have energy, a cell requires nutrients to be transported across the membrane. Got it. Now, the insulin hormone helps make this happen, and it activates the transport of nutrients into a cell and is considered the storage hormone. So what this means is that when somebody ingests carbohydrates, their blood glucose level or your blood sugar level is going to be increased, and that causes insulin to be secreted. Got it. Now, it's insulin's job to return the blood glucose level back to a normal homeostatic range. So what does this mean exactly? All right, so it's understood that your body has stored nutrients inside of it. Your body has stored glucose, your body has stored fatty acids, got it. But when insulin is secreted, the breakdown of those stored nutrients, such as glycolysis, such as lipolysis, those processes are actually turned off. I repeat, those processes are turned off, so your body is no longer going to be breaking down fat for energy. Your body is no longer going to be breaking down sugars for energy. Those things are turned off when insulin is secreted and the storage of nutrients is turned on. So what this means is that if your body needs glucose for energy and you just ate glucose for energy and that glucose for energy is floating around in your bloodstream, your body is going to turn off the processes that would break apart stored glucose for energy. It doesn't make any sense. It's completely counterproductive. So this fact is extremely important for you guys to understand, because when insulin is secreted, fat breakdown and oxidation is completely turned off. This is important to understand because if you want to increase your fat oxidation, if you want to burn body fat to your fullest extent, this means that insulin secretion needs to first be limited. So this is where we get into something called insulin sensitivity. Now, the amount of insulin that one person is going to need in order to return their blood glucose levels back to normal after they have ingested any given amount of glucose, any given amount of carbs, is called your insulin sensitivity. And this is going to vary person to person. It's going to depend on diet. It's going to depend on activity level. It's going to depend on a variety of genetic factors. And the thing that you guys need to realize is that in most cases, the ectomorph and the mesomorph somatotype, those two somatotypes which I covered in the previous video, they are going to be more insulin sensitive than endomorphs. And this is one of the reasons why endomorphs have a tendency to gain fat more easily than ectomorphs and mesomorphs. It has to do with insulin sensitivity. So why does this matter and why is this different for the endomorph? It is different because an endomorph needs to secrete more insulin compared to the ectomorphs and the mesomorphs to shuttle a given amount of glucose into the cells, and therefore the fat oxidation is halted longer for the endomorph as opposed to the ectomorph and mesomorph. And this is a very big distinction. So if you are an endomorph and you want to gain muscle but you don't want to gain fat, you need to pay much more attention to your insulin secretion in order to keep your gains lean. And the body just doesn't like it when glucose is just floating around in the bloodstream after a meal, so the body is going to increase the uptake and oxidation of glucose to get rid of it. What this means, you guys, is that if you are an endomorph, your body requires you to secrete a higher level of insulin to return your blood glucose levels to a normal state. And this puts you at a disadvantage when it comes to staying lean while you are bulking, because fat oxidation is going to be turned off longer than an ectomorph or mesomorph, and there is a greater chance of you becoming more insulin resistant. So we understand that insulin is critical for the body's use of glucose for energy. Got it. But the thing is, especially when it comes to endomorphs, is that insulin resistance is a condition in which the body's cells become resistant to the effects of insulin, where a normal response to a given amount of insulin is reduced. And as a result, higher levels of insulin are needed for the proper effects for cell function. Endomorphs. Rest assured that there have been plenty of endomorphs that I have worked with who have been obese or overweight and have effectively been able to get themselves in good shape, have been able to follow a protocol that works for them. So I just want to assure you guys that it can be done, and it's so crucial to listen to your body and not just copy what somebody else did who doesn't have the same body type as you, because it's definitely not going to work. And the thing is, if somebody is metabolically carbohydrate intolerant, or if there's just a genetic tendency, or if you just have insulin resistance, it's going to be a problem because your body is not going to be able to oxidize fat as efficiently as ectomorphs and mesomorphs. And high carbohydrate diets are not going to be effective for the endomorph body type who is looking to gain muscle without gaining substantial amount of fat during that process. If this is you, what you need to do, here's the solution. Yes, there's a solution. You need to make sure you are carefully monitoring your macronutrient split. I suggest the 40-40-20 split. You may need to make some adjustments and go 40-30-30 if you are an endomorph. And the carbohydrate levels can be tweaked and adjusted accordingly for you and your needs. However, 40-40-20 as a baseline. However, you could go into 40-30-30 being adding a little bit more fat, a little bit less carbs, and by taking those dietary fats up by about 10%, it might be even better. But the thing is, you guys, an individualized approach to nutrition is going to be key, or at least making sure that you are using a program that has an appropriate macro breakdown for you and your goals. So to answer the question I posed at the beginning of this video, should you bulk or should you cut first if you are an endomorph? And my answer is endomorphs are going to have a more challenging time lean bulking. If you are going to lean bulk as an endomorph, you need to tweak your macro ratios accordingly. However, in general, I do suggest for endos to focus more on cutting as opposed to bulking, just due to the metabolic factors as well as the carbohydrate sensitivity, which I described in this video. If you are an endomorph and you are confused and you need some more help, and let's say you want to talk to me, or you want to have a custom meal plan made for you, I suggest you contact Gauge Girl Training or shoot me an email, Christine@musclegauge.com. I do consultations with people. I talk to people all over the world, so even if you are not in the United States, I'll be able to talk to you Skype, FaceTime, WhatsApp, you name it. I'll be able to reach out to you. You can check out my website for the consultations or the link below, or I could advise which do-it-yourself program would be best for your body type. So if there's any other questions or concerns, please let me know, but please give this video a thumbs up, and I'll see you in the next one. Take care.